I'm sure you've realized by now that you need to add video to your marketing strategy if you really want to get in front of your clients in the new year. So for that reason, we've put together today a 10-step guide to video content planning in 2024. Let's get right into it. If you're new here, my name is Liz. I help coaches and consultants add video to their business. Be sure to subscribe so that you never miss any of my content. Now, the reason that I'm making this video is really because I believe that you need a plan if you want to make videos consistently. If you're a business owner, then making a random video here and there whenever you get time or whenever you feel like it is not really a sustainable strategy. I noticed that when people start doing things like that, just under the guise of being spontaneous with their marketing, then they're not really able to reach and connect with their clients as well as if they had sat down and thought out a plan for their video content and then followed that plan. So for this reason, I've put together some of my best 10 steps in order so that you know exactly how to get going with planning your video content in the new year. You will be able to just start fresh in the new year with a solid roadmap for what you should be doing first, all the way down to the last things that you need to be doing. When you follow this type of a map, you can just rinse and repeat it every month, every quarter, all year, every year. So let's jump right into today's video. But first, I just want to be clear. In today's YouTube video, we're not going to be talking about how to actually shoot and edit your videos. None of that technical stuff is covered in today's YouTube. Instead, you can find all that information all over the rest of my channel. Today, we are specifically talking about how to plan out your video content. So let's jump right into it. The first thing I recommend you do is choose a content calendar tool. And I will say that this is the first step that people sometimes get stuck on for the longest. Often my students and my clients like to have a tool that's really aesthetic, that's affordable, that's easy to use, but still is very robust. But the best tool is the one that is easy for you to get going with. Something that you can access quickly, put your notes into, that you find a pleasure to go back to. If your system is really complicated and gives you a lot of stress to access every single time, you are going to drop it faster than you think. I often recommend people start with things like Google Docs and Google Sheets. There is absolutely nothing wrong with starting with simple tools like that. I myself like to use Notion because that's a software that I've been using for a long time and it's really easy for me now, so it just flows really well. I can access my stuff quickly. The whole point of the tool that you choose should be so that you can map out the dates of when you want to release certain videos, have a place in that same tool to jot out your video topics, think about which are the platforms you want to post them on, share some of the notes, put out an outline, all of the things. Try not to spread out your video content planning across too many different tools. That's why if you pick one tool, pick the one that will allow you to do all of these things and then move on to the next step. The next thing is to establish some quarterly goals. Think about what it is that you want to achieve in your business every single quarter. There might be some quarters where you are focusing more on lead generation and bringing in cold audiences in front of your content, or you want to be nurturing your warm audiences, or you might have other quarters where you are hoping to launch new programs and offers and put your stuff out in front of hot leads. So whatever the case is, map out what those goals are first and be clear on that, because that will really help to drive the type of video content that you put out in that quarter. Then go on to the third step. Next, I encourage you to think about any seasonal campaigns you might want to be running. Depending on what your niche is, there's certain seasons or holidays that might actually be really busy and an opportune time for you to add new clients into your world. Conversely, there might be times where business is typically a little bit slow, so there might be more lead generation activities that you're doing then. So map out what all those different seasons are, what those different holidays are. In addition to that, think about the times of the year where you want to take some vacation time or some holiday time. That is obviously not the best time to be posting new content. So have that ready in your calendar as well. Once you've put all of this stuff in, then you've got a good sense of where are the areas where you want to be shooting different types of videos. When is it throughout the year that you want to be taking a break from video and just reposting some older content? And you can have a really clear sense of how to plan backwards from different seasonal campaigns as well. Then move on to the next step. The next thing to do is to consider in the calendar when you are going to re-release your lead magnet and to re-promote some of your other platforms. For example, your audience might not know that you have an active TikTok account or that you've got an active Pinterest account or a YouTube channel. So unless you keep reminding your audience of these things, they are going to forget, they may never know. And let's not forget that all of your audience doesn't see all of your content all the time. So if you don't keep reminding people about things, you'll keep missing a huge amount of your audience. Don't forget to talk regularly about your free resources and your lead magnets, the things that are actually helping to build your email list. You need video campaigns around that stuff as well. So in your content calendar, map out in regular frequencies when you are going to talk about your other social platforms, when you are going to talk about your lead magnet and other free resources, and add all of that in as well. At this point, we're ready to finally start talking about the content. And when you are planning your video content going into the new year, I highly recommend you try to make videos on specific contents without just speaking generically in vague terms. Video has changed a lot in the last 5 years, my friend. So some of the basic Betty information that we could have put out 10 years ago, it's not going to work as well now. People have become savvy. Your clients and your audience, they want specific solutions to their pain points. Even if you don't give them a specific solution in the video, your viewer should understand that you as the expert have that specific solution somewhere tucked away and that it's available with you if they continue to follow your work and hopefully work with you one day itself. So you need to actually come out with deeper topics that are more honed in and targeted to your audience. So when you're sitting down to map out your video content, try to do it in a matrix form. This is what I teach all of my students. So across the top of your matrix, you're going to talk about the 5 or 6 or 7 topics that you really know well within your niche. Sometimes we refer to these things as content pillars. You can call them content pillars, or you can really just write down a list of 5 or 6 or 7 things that you want to share with your audience. Now, how do you come up with those things? Those things are the perfect intersection between your knowledge and the place that you know that your clients are in right now. So it is really important, even before you start making videos, to do proper market research on your clients. I talk a lot about this on my YouTube channel as well as on my podcast. Once you do proper market research, then you have a good idea of what are the pain points that they have right now, what stage of the journey is your client in right now. That way you can create content to meet that. For example, I'm a video coach and I work with coaches and consultants. Typically, my clients are people who already have had professional success in their life, but now they want to get on video to try to promote their business. And this is the place where they're stuck because it's something that they haven't really done before. So I need to specifically talk to people considering that that is the stage of life and business they're in. If I talk to people as if they are completely new to business, that would be wrong because my clients aren't new to business, they're just new to video. On the other hand, if I talk in very hi-fi terms about things that experienced video creators would know, then that's also not going to click with my audience because they're not there yet. So make that list of the pain points and the stage of journey that your client is at right now, and then think about what are the 5 or 6 topics that you can talk about in rotating terms. So over here on this side, you'll be able to see what my content pillars or what my topics are. These are the topics that I like to create all my videos about, connecting back to these topics, because I know that these are the things that my audience actually cares about at this stage. Once you have that running across the top of your matrix, along the other column side, you want to start jotting out some of the different type of things that come up within those topics. For example, what are some of the limiting beliefs that your audience has about topic A, B, C, D, E, and F, and G? And what are some of the myths that they have about it? What are some of the excuses they make to themselves about those topics? What are some of the mistakes that they're making right now that are holding them back from making progress? What are some case studies that you have or some success stories that you have on those topics that you can make videos about? So when you create this type of a matrix, you can always have enough content that you are mixing and matching back and forth. And you know that your content is always going to be something that appeals to the audience because you've thought specifically about what stage they're at and how your expertise can help them. This is the part of your content planning that should take the longest because you don't want any basic Betty stuff. You don't want to just create a bunch of how-to videos. Instead, think deeper, show up as a leader, as a thought leader, and show up as an expert that can really help your audience go from A to Z. Now, once you've taken time to go through that very important exercise of creating a matrix like that, that's when you will have a bunch of video topics. Now I want you to take the next step, which is looking at those topics one by one and trying to come up with a personal story or some type of a case study or success story that you have where you can talk about that topic in a more personal way. This will allow you to bring storytelling into your videos. It will allow the viewer to feel like the topic that you're talking about is a real topic that actually happens to real people. It will allow them to just imagine themselves in that scenario and also envision themselves getting to that future state because of the information that you're sharing. So this is where we're going to spend time looking at all of these topics carefully, thinking about personal stories to go along with most of them, and starting to jot that down as well. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is to look at all of these topics and ask yourself, would any of those topics actually be better as a short form reel? Or would some of them be better as a long form reel, maybe a couple of minutes long? Or what about as a live stream? Some of those topics might be robust enough that you can come on live on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram for 15 minutes and talk about it. Or instead of a live stream, some of those topics might be good as a YouTube video. Some of those topics might actually be better as some type of a carousel and might not make a great video. So go back through these topics and brainstorm for yourself what are all the different formats that topic could really do well as. So I want you at this point to keep an open mind. If you are new to video and you haven't started making any videos yet, then yes, having some short form reels might be the easiest way for you to get these topics going and off the ground. Any single topic can be turned into a short form reel. In fact, the video itself, that reel, you can just have a couple of sentences that you are saying there on that topic, introducing the topic, and then request the viewer to just look in the caption where you put out the rest of it. That's a bit of a shortcut or a hack that you can take if you're really new to video. At least it'll get you going, get your feet wet, get you used to creating the reels, and warm up your audience so that they know that they're now going to get this valuable information from you. Once you start getting more comfortable presenting this material, even in the short form, you can make it longer and start talking about it face to camera, where you are creating longer form reels or longer form content. So have a look at all of these topics and ask yourself how these different videos can be created, and then start jotting that down. Now at this point, I want to remind you that on this channel, I already have another video called How to Have a Video Content Management System. And in that video, I also share a free Notion template that you can just have for yourself. You can save it and duplicate it and use it. And that template will allow you to mark off there which are the different formats of video that you are going to create from one topic, what is the date of that video, how to actually click into that and then type out your outline or your notes and all of that. So if you feel like that is a tool and something that is going to be easy for you to use, then I encourage you to just look in the description below, go grab that template, and then just start using it right away. Now let's get on to